Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. This is the first lesson of the Voice Mastery in Adobe Express by me, Elise Swopes. Um, as Aaron said, this lesson is designed, or this entire course is really designed to equip you, the creator, with the necessary skills and knowledge to leverage your voice effectively in your work, right? And it seems like a lot of people are confused, frustrated, especially with the way that their voice is coming off in content. So I'm happy to be here to help you on that journey. And of course, with the rise of content creation and audio based content, specifically like podcasts, audiobooks, voiceovers, all those things, I think mastering the art of voice recording and editing techniques is absolutely crucial. And it's important and course addresses critical challenges I think that a lot of us face, especially as content creators in voice recording, script writing, audio editing, and consistency in voiceover content. So we're going to discuss all of those in the next 6 months, which I'm really thrilled about. And the course structure is designed to provide a really progressive kind of learning experience. So you'll be involved in chats, you'll be involved, taking things head on inside Adobe Express. But other than that, we'll just be chit chatting about, what are the ins and outs of voice recording. So in the intro, real quick, I'll just introduce myself. My name is Elise Swopes. Again, I go by Swopes. That's my real last name. I have been a content creator for over a decade now. I have partnered with tons of different agencies and brands over the last decade, from NBC to McDonald's to Listerine to Apple to Finish Line to Sony. I've traveled the world with tons of different celebrities as well and just done so many incredible things. But now I work at Adobe, which is super, super fun. I do community and I'm an evangelist for Adobe Express. So really happy to be here and have been loving my role at Adobe since August. So I'm fairly new, but not new to content and not new to workshops or education. So I'm here to answer any questions and to lend all the information that I know over to you. Again, the purpose of this lesson, at the end of the day, I think, is to introduce you to the role of voice in content creation because I think it's just really crucial. Again, it helps convey tone, it helps convey emotion and personality, and it really makes your content more engaging and it makes it more relatable to the people who are watching it. And so, in this very specific lesson, we're going to be doing uh, understanding the role of voice in content creation, right? And then we're gonna think about the importance of good audio quality. So, what is the equipment that people who record their voice, what are they using? And then the basics of audio recording in Adobe Express. So we're just gonna skim in Adobe Express, and I'll just show you what are the possibilities in actually recording your voice and using audio in Express. But again, voice is not just sound. We talked about this a little bit just a second ago. It's about personality, it's about emotion, it's about connection. And so it's a powerful tool to make your content come alive and to resonate with people. And so, in an increasingly digital world, you really want to make sure that you're making your content as human as possible and authentic as possible. And so that means using your voice, yes, your voice, to effectively convey your message is really going to build a stronger relationship with your audience. So I think Aaron touched on it a little bit when we opened up the chat, is the reasons why people have difficulty with recording their voice. I think one of the biggest problems that people have is poor audio quality. We're always thinking about how to invest in better quality equipment, like microphones and things like that. So I'll definitely be teaching you how to set up the recording equipment and to think about minimizing that background noise. And then another thing people really go through a lot is inconsistent volume levels. So thinking about, what is the consistent volume level that you are speaking at. will go into the mic and I'm like, I am so sorry to the audio person. So just being more aware of those things are really, really crucial in, thinking about your voice recording. And then also another problem people have is just like kind of like a monotonous kind of tone to their voice. There really isn't a lot of variation or emotion. And so using the different pacing and inflections and things like that will really help keep your audience engaged in what you're talking about. And then also something that I am working on myself, fast talking and lack of clarity. Speaking clearly and at an appropriate pace is really crucial for your audience. We'll get deep down into these different practices to get you talking a little bit slower, but a couple of them are like moving your lips quite a bit, like for about a minute or two. It really helps, makes a difference. And then also, before you talk or record your voice, saying the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, really like moving your mouth to every letter and saying it as clear as possible. Um, a couple times over and over again will really, you'll notice a difference too. It'll help you say words a lot more clear. And then also thinking about another problem is inconsistent voices across your branding. And that's something I'm really proud of, is just maintaining a consistent voice that kind of matches your brand's personality. And so that's why it's really key to just be yourself. You know, what people expect from you is important because it keeps them coming back for more. And so another problem people have is difficulty editing and enhancing their audio. And the best part is that Adobe Express is really beginner friendly. So we'll just dive in into just very simple ways to kind of express yourself a little bit better. Um, Now, the role of voice in content creation is really important. Again, I think, and I'll show a couple examples of how I utilize it, but I think it's very important to think about emotion and tone. We all have emotions, we all have tones, and the voice carries emotion and it sets the tone of your content. One thing that I'm really adamant about doing when I am recording my content is knowing that the way that my face is shaped is being conveyed into the way that the voice is coming out. So I can hear, there are some songs that you can even probably listen to where you can almost hear that the artist or singer is smiling when they're saying it. And you can almost like, if you can even hear it like right now, if my voice is kind of like this, the voice carries emotion, sets the tone of the content. Versus if I was to say, if my voice, if my I'm smiling now a little bit more, the voice carries emotion and sets the tone of the content. It almost like shifts the feeling that you're gonna get from what I'm saying. So think about the emotion that you want to set, the tone you want to set, and allowing your body to act on that while you're actually saying it will convey the message even more. So arms around, get a little bit movement in the whole body to really convey that message. Urgency, serious humor, even all those things are going to be really important in adding depth to the message you're trying to convey. Um, and also important, we'll talk about this a lot, having water. Water is very crucial. Um, Water is the backbone of recording. You really want to be hydrated, and it makes a big, big difference, especially in editing. But we'll talk a bit about that down the line and get a little bit more deeper about those different practices before you hit record. Now, thinking about even extended into your personality, right? Voice brings personality to the content. You need to bring that personality, bring who you are. It doesn't need to be extravagant. It doesn't need to be someone else. It doesn't need to be what you think it needs to be. It needs to be what it is. So whether you're authoritative, whether you're friendly, whether you're sarcastic, whether you're enthusiastic, whether you're just here and now. That voice really gives listeners a sense of who is speaking and really makes your content more relatable. So be present where you're at, but also, again, convey what you're trying to express. And thinking about the speed at which you're explaining things, or in the way that you're giving context to things, context and pacing is really important. I love to use the pause. Pausing is very important, especially in content. And I may not do it enough here, but that's only because we have a little less than 30 minutes. But I think it's very important for when you're recording your content to, if you have a very impactful statement and you have something that's important to say it, give it a little bit of breathing room, and then go back into what you're trying to express. Because you don't want to move right back into what the next thing you're trying to say. Give people a moment to kind of navigate how they feel about it. So pacing is really, really crucial, and it's easy to pace in Adobe Express, and I'll show you how in a bit, because when we're going to trim down an audio, and then we can kind of separate it and give that little spacing in between that we really would like to have to keep people engaged and help aid people in their understanding.
I'm just
And then,
gonna interrupt really briefly
please.
to go back to your point about being who you are now, and just say that it would be really nice if you feel like it. Go ahead and introduce yourself in chat. Maybe let us know where you are. Like, be who you are here. I always love when people say hello. So back to Elise.
Please. Please say hello. Yes, I would love to see that as well. Okay, so clarity we talked about, right? Saying those words, practicing A, B, C, D, E, F. You may feel kind of silly doing it, but it feels good. It's a good face exercise, but it's also at the same time going to really help you get your message across. And then we talk about consistency too. Consistency is important, but that just enables you to be more obvious when you're popping up on someone's feed, or you don't even, it's like when you see a brand, right? And you don't even need to see that it's their logo. You just know by their color or a sound they're playing or something. That's how you want to be conveyed, even through your voice. And if the voice changes, if the style changes abruptly, it can really be jarring or confusing to people. So be yourself and figure out what being yourself really means. Now, let's get into me sharing a couple examples of successful content that I've utilized voice effectively. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Audio lesson one, go live. All right. I'm sure you can see my screen because I can see my screen. Okay, so I think the biggest thing, most importantly, is I'm hoping the audio works if I press it on the screen. Okay, good. I'm glad you know this. Okay, so I years ago, oh gosh, years ago, starting in 2017, I started a practice where I would write these affirmations every single day. And those affirmations were really important because they were reminders to myself and to my followers to really just be present and to just trust themselves, trust their process, and to just, enjoy life to the extent that we can without being too pressured or too overwhelmed. So, um, at first, I would just write the things on Twitter and then I would post them and then I move on with my life. But then there was someone who was like, "Your voice would be really cool over those." And I was like, "I don't know about that. That sounds horrible. I don't think I want to record my voice. Are you sure you know what I sound like?" And at first I was like, "Yeah, it doesn't sound that exciting." But then in my gut I was like, "You know what? The reason why I'm writing these affirmations is to affirm things in myself that I didn't feel before. So, what if I affirmed myself every day by recording my voice every single day with these different affirmations and hearing my voice back, editing my voice, and then posting it to my stories every single day for people to hear so that they know my voice, I can hear my voice, and I can get over my fear." So that's what I did for 2 years straight. I shared an affirmation on my Instagram story for 2 years straight, and a different one every single day. It would just be things that I would feel and would come up. And so I would use an app on my phone. I would just record on my phone, and I would just like, speak into it. I would read the writing that I would make, and I would share it to my story. So here's, hopefully it'll play. on here. But here is a little example of a affirmation that I would post to my stories. Your own life second guessing every step you make. Be confident and know that everything that comes naturally to you is the choice you should make. Accept your personal lessons, allow your own growth, and let go of fear. Be who you need to evolve. Okay, yes. So as you can tell, all just straight voice, just right to the point. And I would make these in Instagram stories straight away. But, thinking about now, what I would do is probably make them even more special with different little stickers and things like that. I would make them right into Adobe Express, and especially even on the app. So, um, these were really fun to make because it led me to a project where I spoke at the Apple Store. I spoke at the Apple Store showing other people how to record their voice and showing them how to create their own affirmations and how to express themselves, comfortably and daily. And knowing that I put myself in that position to I had those serious fears just like we all do, just like you all do, just like all the people who are the reason why we started this. I had those same fears that my voice was annoying, that I didn't like hearing it, that it wasn't perfect enough. But the first step that I did was I just recorded on my phone, I put it out there, and I moved on with my life. And so start where you're at to get to where you want to be, because I had no clue that I would be speaking at the Apple Store. I had no clue that all these people would want a book from me. I've also wrote a book about these. Um, and all those other amazing opportunities that came up from this. So start where you are if you do have a need to record your voice, if you want to express yourself in some way. Another one that I really enjoy doing that doesn't have a lot to do with, graphics of any sort is really overlaying my voice over B-roll or different cuts of me just doing, anything in my office or, exploring the city. Um, this one specifically was dedicated to talking about, excuse me, a day in the life of me just being in my office, how I start and what I do and how I leave. And I felt like I didn't want to talk directly to the camera. It felt a little bit more poetic and interesting to do a voiceover. So I wrote a script for this. I recorded it, and then I, obviously put a caption over it, which I think is really crucial, and we'll talk about that as well along the line of our course, talking about how accessibility is very crucial when it comes to sound recording and making sure that you're not just being accessible, but you're also thinking about, how people can be in a very quiet space sometimes and they can't always hear sound. So you do want to have people engaged still. So here's just a sample of this piece of video. It begins with stepping into my creative sanctuary, a space where imagination meets reality. Every email becomes an opportunity. Creative Cloud morphs into a can. For sure. So that uh, intertwined a little bit of storytelling and tutorial and expression and all these different things, to really be able to bring someone into what I'm trying to express instead of doing something a little bit more straightforward. And I appreciate doing these kind of projects a little more just because I get to have a lot more fun with how I want to express myself, how I want my content to be a lot different and more unique and more authentic to who I am. And tell a different story. Just try something new. And then a third one I just want to show really quickly, and this one is not perfect. And I'm showing it because I want to also show you what not to do. So, you'll see down here that I have this image of me in a studio. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit. And that's me in a recording studio. And I was a voice on the Alexa devices. And I partnered with Adobe on some creative things years ago, which was really fun. And I had to go to a studio, record my voice, and I had to make sure I was really, really hydrated. They gave me another tip about how if you don't want to have this kind of noise in your recordings, you can drink orange juice. So a couple things that I did there was exciting, but the hard part was that I had to share the recording to social media with other recordings of myself talking about it. So, and I say that maybe in a confusing way, but I hope this makes sense to an extent, is that when you do brand projects, you have to get your audio approved as well. And there are sometimes cuts that you have to do, sometimes uh, uh, can't remember the word right now, but you have to dub it. You have to dub your own audio to make sure that the audio that you're saying matches the brand marketing that they want to accomplish. So in this one, I'm going to play this really quick. You'll, I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. Hopefully, you'll be able to hear it. But the audio goes, it sounds different than it does eventually. Adobe Inspiration Engine. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. Alexa, open up Adobe Inspiration Engine. Creative exercise.
Hi, I'm graphic designer and photographer Elise Swopes.
Alexa, open up Adobe Inspiration Engine. Okay. So at the beginning, you'll hear that I go, Alexa, play the. And I every time I watch this back, I'm like, what was I doing? What happened to this edit? The sound at the beginning is completely a little different and it's more quieter than it is in the next couple clips. The other three clips are like, they sound great, but that first one is very low. And you may not be able to notice it, but I definitely notice it. I'm sure other people may have been somewhat jarred by it or confused or, just like, oh, did she edit that in? Like, what is that? All those different things that you don't want people thinking when they're actually looking at your content. You want them thinking about, what the actual content is. So just considering, when you have to dub over something, think about the consistency level of audio, the consistency level of your tone, the consistency level of your emotion, the consistency level of so many things, because when you're chit-chatting and editing in that way, they do sound different and can potentially be jarring. So that was a fun project, but we learned a lot. So we don't have much time left, but I will show you really quickly just a couple things. And I'm showing you this kind of funny in Express right now and not in a presentation style, just because I love Express so much and I just want to show you how cool these little things are that I did. I found every single one of these in our media. And then I got rid of every single background. And then I put them all and they were so specific. They were perfect. They were just exactly what I needed anyway. Um, so these are the different instruments that you want to think about having potentially. Now, the microphone is the most critical piece of equipment, right? And that is obviously important for so many reasons, but there are different mics for different things. So you'll see a condenser microphone all the way to the left over there. That is one that's a little bit more high sensitivity, and you'll get a little bit more accuracy when it comes to the decisions you want to make recording. I have one. Mine is USB connected, so it's a little bit different, but um, it is a little bit. I'm probably like yelling into this now because I'm pushing it towards my head, but it's a little bit more in depth. It's got these different options on the back, and those we won't get into that today, but we'll get into that eventually, what those different options mean. But you also have a second to the left. Is this to the left or to the right of you? I'm gonna say it's to the left. You've got a dynamic microphone, right? So this is more rugged, more durable. If you go to a concert, you've probably seen this. People got these in the hands, can move around. Mostly used for different performances and things, as I've said. So you can do different recordings on loud devices with those. And then we have a lavalier mic. It is a small clip-on microphone, usually just clips on here, goes under the shirt. Sometimes we have one that can be put into the phone, put on. They also have some wireless ones these days, which is amazing. And I suggest those. Rode mics are really nice. And also the USB ones, instead of having like the aux and all those complicated things, I've got like so many different mixers down here because, oh gosh, when those aux ones get involved, it gets real complicated. But if you can find a mic with a USB or a USB-C connection, it'll be a little bit easier for you to kind of connect unless you have all these different little things. Okay, so additionally, headphones, they could be useful, but that's only if you want to hear yourself back at the moment. Usually, I don't need to hear myself back live, so I'm totally fine with that. And then another thing that you want to think about is a pop filter. I don't have mine on right now. I probably should, but a pop filter is a thing that helps reduce explosive noises, so it's less like pop pop pop, pop pop pop. Sometimes you'll hear that maybe in a lot of recordings that you'll hear on different podcasts if they're not edited correctly, but definitely something that happens quite often and can be reduced by these lovely filters. And then, last but not least, thinking about a microphone stand. There are ones that attach to tables. I've got one attached to my desk. You can have one that's standing, but I would suggest one that's connected to something so it's not moving around because every movement that it will make will definitely affect the way that the sound is recorded. All right. So let's get into the basics of audio recording in Adobe Express. I'm excited. Boom. Okay, yes, let's go here. Now, if you don't know, and maybe you do, but you should go down to suggested quick actions, okay? And this is one of my favorite audio things that we have. Go into quick actions, go to all, go to animate from audio, okay? This is a really fun one. We actually just dropped 25 new characters. Yes, we did. 25. 25 lovely new characters. Uh, and they're all incredible. You'll see them all here. I think this one might be my favorite, low key. And you can resize it. You can change the background if you want it to be transparent. It can be in a castle. It's a regular little screen. Let's get a fall foliage going. And you can record your actual dialogue here in app, or you can upload one. Max is 2 minutes or 1 GB. But I'm going to go ahead and record today. And by the way, you can also change the size. Don't need to focus on that too much. But as always, in Express, very specific to different social platforms and things like that. But anyway, so I can record, but I would love to enhance my speech. It's one of the nice things we have in Express and only in Animate from Audio at the moment. And this makes your voice recordings sound as if they were recorded in a professional studio. Now, if we have this ability here, imagine where else we can have it. Now, I'm going to hit record and show you how this works. Hi everybody, it's your girl Elise Swopes and I am animating from audio. Look at me, I'm a cute little orange cat and it is fall. At least I wish it was. It's really cold outside. Okay, let's press done. And you could easily pause it if you wanted to. And it's gonna go ahead and enhance the audio, it's doing all this fun stuff. I love these graphics we have on here. They're really cool. I think we need to find out who actually makes these. Do you know, Aaron?
I don't know. I love them though, those waiting graphics. They're so much better than a gray box with a loading thing. I wish we had them on Firefly actually.
I agree. And you know what? They remind me a lot of like the 90s. Just that
Yes.
feeling. You know what I'm saying? It reminds
Yes.
me of the feeling of like the graphics we used to have and the loading
Yes,
and
they're really
the
like
website.
kind of
Oh,
like a little gross, but like cute and cool at the same time.
yes, it's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So it's computing the lip sync, and I probably talked a little too long, but it'll do what it needs to do, and usually doesn't take too long at all. But as we're animating from audio, thinking about also uh, something that I think is really important is making sure that your devices are connected before you hit record. Something that I usually forget about, and maybe not as much anymore, but I did when I recorded my podcast, as I would record an entire podcast and then I would listen to it back, and the recording was coming from my computer or my laptop versus the mic. And so make sure that you're checking your audio interface on your computer, in the audio, specific audio settings, any audio settings that might come with the mic. Make sure that you are triple checking that your output is either in your headphones or on the computer, and that your input is the mic that you have connected or whatever mic that you want to use. So make sure that the input, the output is confirmed. And let's see how she sounds.
Hi everybody, it's your girl Elise Swopes and I am animating from audio. Look at me, I'm a cute little orange cat and it is fall. At least I wish it was. It's really cold outside.
I love her. I'm obsessed. Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
god,
Okay.
she's so cute.
I know. So the best part is you can download her, or you can open her and edited, or an editor. Very excited right now. I can't even hardly talk, but I'm a big fan of Animate from audio, and there's gonna be so much coming from that. So we'll just X out of there real quick. But last but not least, before we close up, I'll show you where else you can have a lot of fun. Let's go back into this one here. We've got our 9x16. If I want to go to media, do a little thing, pop this little thing in here, and then I'm going to create a graphic with a quote really quickly. I'm going to add my text. And this is just a little affirmation, maybe a little, inspiration. Okay, we're going to do this white text, something. Doesn't matter what it looks like right now. We're going to figure it out later. But no, I can't. I can't just leave this. Can't just leave it like that. That's not going to work. From editors, we know we can't just leave it. Anyway, okay, so this is usually how I would have recorded my stories. So I would go to media, go to audio, and I would record voiceover. Okay. Now, this is what I was talking about. Make sure that your microphone is connected correctly. I have a bunch of mics in here, so let's not get too deep in those, but I do have my Yeti X, which is my favorite. And you can see the levels. You don't want to get too close. If you're here and it's getting, excuse me, see, I just realized I'm still talking to you guys. But if I'm here over there, it's going to be red. So definitely want to make sure that you're here, kind of in the middle, not too much. I could also turn this down a little bit. Okay. And then I can do recording and it'll count me down. And then I can do this. So much self hurt comes from comparing yourself to other people. You are perfect as you are. There is no need for comparison. Strive instead for your own progress and unique growth. Okay, so you'll notice that I messed up a little there, and that's totally fine because I can go right in here. And the nice part about audio is I always want to get real zoomed in. Always want to get real zoomed in. And that is because, especially right now, we don't have any very specific audio things. I believe, hopefully, those are coming. But because I need to edit very specifically by only listening, this. Let's see. And then I can do this. So, okay, then I can do this, and then I can go here. And then I'm going to go split, delete, move that up. So much self hurt comes from comparing yourself to other people. You are perfect as you are. And then I can extend this out all the way to where that clip ends. And let me find where I messed up a little bit. Strive instead of, okay, there we go. Instead of comparison. All right, and let's edit there. Strive split. And then press play again. Strive instead of, all right. Do a little split, clear, bring it up. Comparison. Strive instead for your own progress. Hey, I know we don't say no perfection, but it's pretty perfect to me. Okay, so you guys, that is just right now on the extent of how we can really play with audio and Express, but we'll get a lot more deep into that as time goes on. I'm so grateful you came here today to chat with me. And the next meet, we're going to be talking about, we'll dive a little bit deeper into the technical aspects of audio recording, and that'll be more in-depth tips and tricks on how to improve the sound and quality, and different strategies to really overcome different recording issues that come up. There's gonna be a lot. I live in New York. There's always some construction out there. So we'll talk a little bit about what you can do anywhere you're at to get better audio recording. You guys, I'm ready for Friday. How about you?
So ready. Folks are saying thanks for hosting, and just to let everyone know, I'll get this next one scheduled as soon as Elisa and I agree on a date. It'll probably be about a month from now, and I will share, once I upload this to YouTube, I will share the link in community resources so that you all can access it anytime you want if you need Elisa's wonderful insights to get started. And I think I might also do a little voiceover challenge. So let's get that going. And everyone says thanks to Elise, and we'll see you all again soon.
Guys.